Hello, my name's Becky May of Frond Yoga, and this is a home practice sequence that I designed for my lovely friend Gabriella. So hopefully 20 minutes to half an hour, and we start on our hands and knees and we just go into some cat-cows. So this is a routine you can do straight out of bed, great and safe for the lower back. So we inhale, lift the tailbone, drop the belly, shoulders back, looking up to the eyebrows. Exhale, tailbone draws under, push through the hands, chin to the chest. Moving into spine mobility. So inhale, tailbone lifts, belly drops, shoulders back, look up. Exhale, tailbone under, push through the hands, stretch the upper back to the ceiling, chin to the chest. And we just keep going. We're looking to do between 5 to 10 rounds, depending how we're feeling, and if this is the first thing you do in the day, it's a great way to just check in with your spine. How is it feeling this morning? And if you find a sticky part, slow down, breathe slowly through that area, don't rush. So just a few more rounds with the breath, matching breath with movement, inhaling into the cow as we look up, exhaling into the cat. And we always start the movement with the tailbone. Wave of motion travels up the spine and we finish with the head and the eyes. Okay, now after your next exhale, coming to a neutral spine, just take the hands a little bit further forward and tuck the toes, and we find our downward dog. So again, if this is first thing in the morning, you're probably going to feel a bit tight here. So you might want to just walk the feet up and down a few times, stretching into that toe joint, pushing opposite heels down, alternate heels down. Spreading the fingertips, plugging the hands in, pushing through the hands to send those hips up and back so we elongate the spine. Letting both heels drop towards the floor, let the head be heavy, the neck relax, looking back to the feet. Feeling strong in the arms, strong in the legs, drawing up on the kneecaps to firm the thighs, rolling the upper arms away from the ears, and spiraling the lower arms, the forearms in the opposite direction, so we anchor down through the thumb and the first finger joint. One more deep breath, finding your deep postural muscles, your deep core awareness, lifting on the navel and on the pelvic floor. Great, and then we're going to walk the hands back towards the feet. So you might need to bend the knees at this point, and we end up in a standing forward fold. So the feet are underneath the hips. You just hold on to the opposite elbows, and it's like your fingertips are tractioning the elbows, gravity is drawing the elbows down, drawing the top of the head down, the neck is long. Breathing deep again. Find your deep postural muscles, lifting navel to spine, lifting on the pelvic floor, exploring the weight distribution of the feet, into the heels, into the toes, and then that sweet spot where the whole of the feet are pressing evenly. Knees can be as bent as you need here, especially, as I say, first thing in the morning, protecting the hamstrings on the back of the leg, not overstretching. We still get a great stretch for the lower back with the knees bent, and you'll probably still feel it in the hamstrings on the back of the thighs as well. One more deep breath in and out through the nose. And then bending the knees, bringing the hands to the hips, pushing through the feet, slowly standing up with a flat back. And arrive in your mountain pose, feet together, hands by the side, shoulders, hips and ankles in alignment here, and just connect your breath, rooting down through the feet. And then we're going to move from here into just a few standing postures. So you face the long edge of your mat. We'll go to the right first. So we're going to turn the left foot in, the right foot all the way out, but the hips face forward. Reach through the fingertips. Inhale here. And exhale into Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. So we look forward over the middle right finger. We're looking for the right knee above or maybe behind the right ankle, not in front. If it's in front, widen your stance. Stretch dynamically through the fingertips, draw the shoulders away from the ears, draw the navel in, drop the tailbone, and spread the toes, press the feet into the mat, and slow deep breaths. This sequence is great for opening the hips and is good for people with a tender lower back, so if you've had lower back injuries. And then from here, turning it into side angle pose, we're going to bring the right elbow onto the thigh and the left upper arm comes up and over, so we're stretching around the left hip joint here. Reach through the left fingertips and press through the little toe edge of the left foot in the opposite direction. We're opening the torso up towards the ceiling, so we're looking towards the left hand, if that's okay on your neck. Pressing through the right elbow so we don't collapse our weight into the right shoulder. One more breath. And then inhale, press through the right leg to come up. And we just swap sides. So turn the right foot in, so ideally the toes are in front of the heel, or the little toe edge is parallel to the end of the mat. Left foot all the way out, but don't let the hips follow. Hips face the long edge of the mat. Inhale, arms outstretched. Exhale, bend the left knee into Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. Stretch in opposite directions through the fingertips, so we're stretching the fascia across the chest. And turn to look over your middle left finger. Strong in the legs, active in the feet. Open the soles of the feet. Drop the tailbone, draw the navel to the spine, and breathe deep. And then you can bring the left elbow onto the thigh, the right upper arm up and over, palm facing the floor, stretch through the fingertips, push through the little toe edge of the right foot in the opposite direction, and opening the torso up towards the ceiling. Looking towards the right hand, pressing through the left elbow to get length and lift through the spine as we sink into the hips. One more deep breath. And then inhale, press through the left leg, bring yourself up, and then now we bring the feet parallel, so we've still got a wide stance and the outer edges of the feet are parallel. And we bring the hands to the hips. Inhale, roll the shoulders back, open the chest and look up. And we're exhaling into Prasarita Padottanasana, our wide leg forward fold. So hinge at the hips, coming down, bend the knees if you need. When you get to your deepest fold, release the hands to the floor, or if the floor's too far away, use a support here, a book, a block. Drop the head so the back of the neck's long. Lift the inner arches of the feet. Press the soles of the feet down to activate the legs. So we're drawing up on the kneecaps, thighs strong. We're trying to take about 5 breaths in each posture. Breathing deep, active legs, active feet. Knees can be bent, no problem. Exploring the weight distribution in your feet, not too far in the heels, not too far in the toes. And at the end of your next exhale, we just look up, inhaling to open the spine, straightening the arms. Exhale, hands to hips. Inhale, push through the feet and the legs to come up. And exhale, just step the feet together, we find the mountain pose again. Pausing here. Great. And then we come down to the floor. We're going to come onto our belly, so you can just lie down any way you want. If you want to work a little bit more with strength, you're going to come forward into this half push-up position, shoulders over the wrists, lift the belly up to the spine, and as you exhale, push the floor away, elbows in, lowering the body down. So we find that upper body strength. Okay. Once you're on the floor, slide the hands in front of you. We're coming into the Sphinx. So those who've had lower back injuries, even this might be too intense for you. So you can take the elbows as far forward as you need to find ease in the lower back. So I'm supported on my lower ribs here as well. But if possible, elbows underneath the shoulders. Forearms parallel, spread the fingertips. You can have a gap between the feet again to ease the lower back. Try and relax the buttocks if you can. And then it's like I'm pulling the floor towards me without really moving much, but that sense of tractioning the floor towards me stretches the skin on the belly, relaxing the buttock, having this sense of lift and length through the spine at the top of the head. Drawing the shoulder blades together down the spine so the shoulders are away from the ears. Breathing deep. Breathing all the way into the upper chest, up to the collarbones. One more deep breath. And then as you exhale, slowly lay the front spine down onto the floor and just take a little resting breath. Hands underneath the forehead, maybe wobble the hips a little bit side to side. And then this is great therapy for the back, for strengthening the back gently. So we're going to take the left hand underneath the left shoulder blade and draw the left shoulder back. And we're going to extend the right hand forward, forehead on the floor. And then as we inhale, we're going to lift the right arm and hand and the left leg. And it doesn't need to be high, it's more about length and height. And we stretch forward through the right fingertips, stretch back through the left toes. And we're lightly pressing down through the toenails of the right foot on the floor. And lightly pressing through the left hand. Try and take 5 breaths or 3 to 5 breaths, feeling this extension, this diagonal extension through the body. Reaching forward through the fingertips, reaching back through the toes. And after your 3 to 5 breaths, slowly lowering down. Take a breath between sides. And then we swap sides, so take the right hand underneath the right shoulder, stretch the left hand forward, right shoulders drawing back away from the ear, forehead to the floor. Inhale, lift it all up, left arm and hand, right foot and leg, stretch back through the right foot, stretch forward through the left fingertips, and lightly press through the toenails of the left foot on the floor. Breathing deep. Full extension, full stretch, full breath. One more breath. And exhale, release. Again, if you want to just take that little rest, forehead on the hands, wobbling the hips, maybe windscreen wipering the legs. And then bring the hands underneath the shoulders, lift the belly up to the spine, press through the hands, elbows close to the side. We're coming up in this reverse half press up. I'm going to come into an extended child's pose. So we drop the hips towards the heels and reach the fingertips forward and drop the head. Now if this is too much for your knees, you can either put something underneath the hips like a cushion or a bolster, or you can just take some cat-cows here instead. Otherwise, just a few slow deep breaths in our child's pose, breathing into the lower back, the area we just compressed. Resting the forehead, deepening the breath, stretching the fingertips forward to traction and extend the spine. And then at the end of the next exhale, slowly coming up to kneel. Last thing to come up to the head. Drop the hips to the side. Extend the legs out in front of you. And we'll just do a few seated postures here. So we'll start with Janu Shirshasana, head to knee pose. So I'll turn around so you can see we're going to extend the left leg and we're going to fold the right leg. So bring the right heel towards the groin and the knee out to the side. You can take a cushion or a bolster or a block underneath that knee or thigh. Hips face forward. Inhale, so we find our core support, lift on the pelvic floor, navel to spine, push through the left heel. Inhale, stretch the hands up, lengthening the side waist, and exhale, coming forward, just letting the hands come to wherever they reach, thigh, calf, foot. Inhale, lengthen, look up, and exhale, fold. 5 slow deep breaths. We're pushing through the left heel, toes to the ceiling, and we're also pushing through the right heel so the toes point forward towards the left foot. Front body contraction, navel to spine, pelvic floor lifts. Breathing into the lower back. It's a really nice opening for the quadratus lumbar, this big muscle at the lower back, and even into the outer folded hip. One more slow deep breath. You might be all the way up here, just dropping the head. Just go to your edge, wherever's right for you. And then inhale, slowly coming up. And simply swap sides. So take the right leg out. You can squeeze the left shin in and then bend the knee out to the side. So we're folding that knee fully. Flexing the left foot, flexing the right foot. Find the deep core. Inhale, raise the hands, reaching up. Exhale, coming forward with the chin in the chest. When we can't go any further, we release the hands. Inhale again to lift out of the lower back. Exhale, drop the head, coming into the full pose. So again, if we're tight in the hamstrings, bend the knees, and you can just stay upright if that's enough. We're still stretching the back of the body, dropping the head slightly, so we also bring that stretch all the way into the upper back and neck. Breathing deep. If you're very open, you can reach beyond the foot and hold right wrist with left hand. Slow, deep breaths, couple more. And then inhale, coming up. And then again, we're going to stretch that left foot out in front of us and interlace the hands around the front of the right shin. Bring the heel as close to the groin as possible and the inner foot's close to the inner left thigh. We're going to twist from here. If it's available to you, you can hook the right foot to the outside of the left knee. Then we get a little bit more into this right hip. Otherwise, just by the groin or inside of the knee. Either way, right hand's your prop behind you. Inhale, lift up through the left side, get long in the left side, twist from the navel towards the bent leg and just hug the knee and the crook of the elbow, extending the forearm down the thigh. And we're trying to draw this right shoulder back towards the spine and look towards or beyond your right shoulder. At the same time, we're pressing down through the right sole of the foot, try and get the big toe connected and pushing out through the left heel, toes to the shin. Breathing deep, finding space in the collarbones, right chest with the breath. If you're more open, you can take the arm beyond the knee and press. But don't force. One more deep breath. And then as you inhale, just look forward, unravel the spine. And exhale, release. And we swap sides. So again, interlace the hands around the left shin, bring the heel close to the groin and close to the inner edge of the thigh. Or if we can, hook the foot, just step the foot to the outside of the right knee. Press down through the sole of the foot, including the big toe. Lean into the left hand. Inhale, reach up through the right side, twist from the navel towards the bent leg and hug the knee into the crook of the elbow, or possibly go beyond, push the upper arm into the outer thigh. Turn to look towards or beyond your left shoulder, and we're activating the whole left shoulder girdle to draw it towards the centre line of the body. Active in the feet, left sole pushes down, pushing out through the right heel, toes to ceiling. And then go to your breath, slow, deep breaths. So as I say, this sequence is designed really to get into the outer hips and to work gently with the lower back and also opening the shoulders. Turning to the front, unraveling. Great. And then we're going to come down onto our backs to finish. So you can use a little bit of core here by coming down with the knees bent, slowly lowering vertebra by vertebra. Great, when we're all the way down, we're just going to start with a little bit of spinal awareness, a bit like the cat-cow, but we're just working with pelvic tilts, okay? So it's a very subtle, you might not be able to see much movement, but my heels are close to the buttocks, soles of the feet planted, hip distance apart. And then we're working with the breath. So as I inhale, I press down through the sacrum and I tilt the pelvis up so that the lower vertebrae start to peel off the mat. So we really need to come to the bottom third or maybe halfway up the spine, pressing through the feet a little bit. And then when the exhale comes, we place the vertebra down from the upper back all the way back down to the sacrum. And at the end of the exhale, we tilt the pelvis the other way, so forward now, so we create this little arch in the lower back, and my whole back moves forward. So watching my back as I inhale, the shoulders move back, I press down through the sacrum, start to tilt the pelvis up, and lift the hips, and exhale with care and attentiveness, place the vertebra down, place the sacrum down, and then tilt the pelvis the other way, so everything shunts forward. There's that little arch under the lower back again. So just keep going with those pelvic rolls, inhaling, tilting the pelvis up. We don't need to press through the feet much and lift the hips high, that's not what we're doing at this stage. We're just actually massaging the sacrum. This is very therapeutic for releasing the sacroiliac joint, which is tight for many of us, just above the buttocks, right at the base of the spine. So just keep rocking forwards and backwards with the pelvis, just pelvic rocks. And you can keep going with this, it should feel really nice. If you want to, if the body's asking for a deeper back bend, and if your lower back is okay with this time as you inhale, you can push through the feet a little bit more and lift the hips a bit higher. Up to you, tune into your lower back. If you've got lower back issues, if you've ever slipped a disc or had an injury, just be really careful here. But if it's feeling okay, you can come higher. Up the back, you can tuck the shoulders under one at a time, and you can interlace the hands beneath the back. But as I say, really this sequence is designed to be safe for those with lower back issues, as long as we're practicing with mindfulness and care. So the full posture that I'm doing now might be too much for you. So really tune into your back and just continue with those little pelvic rocks, if that's for you. And then if you're all the way up, on an exhale, slowly lowering down from the top of the back to the lower back, and again at the end of the exhale, we're all going to just rock forward one last time and then come back to a neutral spine, and then just shuffle the skin of the back backwards a little bit so the whole of the back's on the floor. We're going to extend the legs up, extend the arms behind us, find this capital L shape, so palms face each other, reach back through the fingertips, push up through the heels. Breathe into the lower back, breathe into the whole of the back, breathe into the back of the legs. And then as you exhale, bend the knees, bring the hands forward, and either rest the hands on the shins or hold the back of the knees, keeping the head on the floor. Just hug the knees in towards the chest, counter pose. Breathing into the lower back. If you want a little bit of movement, you can rock the knees side to side or little circles. Slow, deep breaths, easing out the lower back here. And we're just going to finish with another outer hip stretch, moving into a twist. So take the left foot, flex the right foot, and place the outer right ankle on the front of the left thigh, and then just lift that left leg. And if you can, feed the right hand underneath the right shin, hold the back of the knee or the front of the shin, keeping the head on the floor. And you should feel this in the outer right hip. If it's too much, if there's any pain in the knee, really pay attention to that. And if it's feeling not good, like something's just not quite right, just take that left foot down and hold this shape. You're still getting a good stretch. Or just lift the foot slightly off the floor till you don't feel the pain, but you do feel a stretch around the right hip. Breathing into the right hip. You can circle the left ankle while we're here, just around in a couple of circles. Keep the right foot flexed, toes pointing up to the ceiling. And then at the end of your exhale, next exhale, again we're always looking for about 5 breaths in each posture. Bring the left foot down, hold the shape of the leg so nothing moves. We just allow the legs to drop out towards the left until the sole of the right foot touches down. So you can't quite see that, but my sole of my right foot is now firmly planted on the floor. My right knee is high and I'm just on the outer ankle of my left foot. You can extend the arms out in line with the shoulders, or gently press the right thigh away from you with the left hand, and you can turn and look over your right shoulder. So we're getting a lovely spinal twist here and an outer hip opener, and we're getting into that quadratus lumbar again, that lower muscle in the back. So slow deep breaths, breathing into this right side of the body, around the hinge of the hip bone, the psoas, the belly. Deep breaths into that part of the body. And when you've done your 5 breaths or so, just find your deep core, navel to spine, slowly roll back to the centre and just swap sides. So plant the right foot on the floor, flex that left foot, bring the outer left ankle onto the front of the right thigh, toes point up towards the knee. And if it's okay with the left knee, lift the right foot off the floor, otherwise keep it down. Hold the back of the knee or the front of the shin if available, but keep the head on the floor. Some people need a little block or prop under the head for this one, that's fine if your neck is tight. You can circle the right ankle. Slow deep breaths into the outer left hip, the lower back. Relax the shoulders and the jaw and the belly. One more slow deep breath. When you're doing this home practice yourself, notice which is your tight side and just always take a couple extra breaths on the tight side, because over time we're trying to even out the sides of the body. That's the beauty of the home practice. Okay, so bring the right foot down, you'll see it more clearly this side. We just keep the shape, nothing moves. We just allow the right knee to come out to the right, all the way until the sole of the left foot comes down. So my sole of the left foot's pressing on the floor, the knees high, arms outstretched in line with the shoulder, turn to look over the left shoulder. Maybe press the inner left thigh away with the right hand. Might feel good, might not. And then just focus on the breath, breathing into this left side of the body that's being opened here, the left side of the belly, around the left hip flexors. And then bringing the gaze back up to the ceiling, find your core, rolling back to the centre, releasing the posture. You might want to just give yourself one more tight squeeze, knees into the chest, maybe lifting the head to the knees for a moment. Squeeze, tight, tight, tight. And then it's important to finish our sequence in Shavasana, even if you only have 30 seconds, but ideally longer than that, ideally at least a minute, just in stillness. So whatever time you have, gift yourself that time to complete your practice in Shavasana. If you need a blanket, take a blanket. So Shavasana is a posture in its own right, the spine and pelvis and neck and head essentially aligned, and the limbs flop away from that. So arms away from the side, palms up, feet slightly wider than hip distance, flopping out to the sides. So it's this real passive posture of surrender. If you've got a hair bobble in, you might need to take it out so that you can fully release the head to the mat. And just let go of all effort, let the breath return to its natural breathing. Coming to stillness, integrating the fruits of the practice. And there's such a benefit and a joy and endless discovery of developing a home practice sequence. If you would like a tailored sequence just for you to focus on the parts of the body that need attention in you, you can always get in touch with me and I can design one just like this for you. Every body is unique. And letting go, stillness, heaviness. And if you have the luxury of time today, you can take longer here. But otherwise, we'll just close the practice together. So just drawing knees into the chest again, or taking any deeper stretches you need, full body stretch. Just listen to what the body wants. And in your own time, just roll to one side, usually the right side. Maybe taking a moment there. And when you're ready, just push yourself up to seated. And it's good to consciously close the class, so we don't just fly off into the day. We kind of we harness the fruits of the practice. So for me, it's just bringing the palms together. Sometimes I do an Om, but always I just direct the fruits of the practice to my own healing journey, my own inner journey. And then if there's anything out in the world that's calling that energy, then I redirect it out as well. But just harness, acknowledge, direct the energy of the practice. so that when we move away from our mat, we know we're a different person, we're a changed person, not just in the body but on all levels. Thank you for practicing with me today. Namaste. Hope to see you again soon.